CA Foundation students. I hope you're preparing well for the exam. And let us continue with the next booster video. This is lecture 6. Did you go and watch the study strategy video which I had posted yesterday? If not, I'm leaving a link in the description box, and also over here you can see the I button. It will give you a very clear idea of what you are expected to study 1.5 days before the exam. So do go and watch that video also. And we are coming up live tomorrow for discussing case study, how to solve case study, what are the important case studies for exam, and doubts relating to case study. So I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. YouTube live on your channel Theory Masters Learning. But before we proceed with today's session, do subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications for all the booster videos. Also visit my website theorymasterslearning.com for CA books and interesting fun video lectures. The first question which I have chosen today from quasi and contingent contract is from the module question 3. Now students, we have covered everything unit wise. The last unit remaining of contract act, that is contingent and quasi contracts. Question 3, let us go through the note quickly. P left his carriage on D's premises. So I have made a pictorial representation of the entire question. You also do that in the exam. It'll be very easy for you to understand the question and also to simultaneously frame the answer in your mind. Now P left his carriage on D's premises. The landlord of D seized the carriage against the rent due from D. So D was not paying the rent of the premises that he occupied. So the landlord seized the carriage which was on the premise. Now that carriage belonged to P. So P is the owner. He had kept it at D's premise and landlord seized the carriage. Now P wanted his carriage. So he paid the rent which was actually the liability of D and got his carriage released. Can P recover the amount from D? That is the question. Now, firstly, your mind should be trained enough to identify the liability. Now, whose liability is it? Who is the party who is liable? Yes, it is D's liability, which P has paid. So, this is a question relating to which section number? It is a question relating to section 69. It's a quasi contract. Now, what are the provisions of section 69? If I am paying somebody else's obligation, why will I pay? Because there is some interest which I am trying to protect. Okay, I have some interest in that payment. Like over here, P had some interest in paying the rent of D because he wanted his carriage back. So I'm not going to pay money just, because I want to maybe conduct some charity work and all. No, I am trying to protect my interest. So if I have paid your obligation, I have some interest in that payment. Then later on, I can recover money from you. Now law says there is no contract, there was no acceptance, there's no offer, there's no acceptance. I have paid your obligation to protect my interest. Later on, I can recover that money from you. Even though there is no offer, there was no acceptance, but law says this resembles a contract. It is nothing but a quasi contract. So this relates to section 69. Now to give you the exact provisions of section 69, we will go through the answer. P can recover the amount from D. Leave that part for the time being. I'll just zoom. Yeah, this should be sufficient. What does section 69 say? These are the provisions of section 69. As per section 69, a person who is interested in the payment of money which the other is bound to. Now, I have related the question with these provisions. Only then we will be able to understand. Now, P was interested in making the payment which other is bound, which D was bound. Why was he interested? What was his nature of interest or area of interest? Yes, his interest was the carriage. He wanted his carriage back. Now the landlord will not return the carriage unless and until he is paid the rent. So P wanted his carriage back, he had to pay the rent. So P paid the rent which actually D was bound to pay. So it was D's liability. You can also write it was D's liability. Now the law says D, you cannot enjoy at the expense of P. P has paid your obligation. Go and return the money to him. Refund it to him. Come on. This is nothing but a quasi contract. Now, in this case, D cannot argue. But I didn't ask him to pay. See, he's paying your obligation. He has paid for the time being. Later on, go and return it to him. This is just like a contract. It's a quasi contract. So therefore, P is entitled to be reimbursed by D. Now you do one thing, pause the video and write this in your module so that you're able to connect the solution with the question. So when you read this statement, you will be able to recollect, okay, it is P who is making the payment to protect his interest, to get his carriage back, but it is D's obligation. Then later on, P is entitled to be reimbursed by D. So yes, P can recover. Now students, please note, Institute has started the answer with yes, but this is not the correct way of writing answers in the exam. Don't go by what they have mentioned here. If you say yes, P can recover, that's not the correct. Never start your answer with yes or no. Okay. So what will you write? As per section 69, any person who is interested in making the payment which other is obligated to pay, then yes, later on he is entitled to recover the money. Okay. Then you say, therefore, P can recover the money from D. Now don't start with the solution. Okay. Don't start with that. First, you have to explain the provisions and then arrive at the solution. How to do that? Tomorrow we will be discussing that in our live session. Okay. In the present case, now D was lawfully bound to pay the rent. P was interested in making the payment. What was his interest? What was his interest? Yes, his interest was the carriage. You are all very smart. Huh? You have answered correctly. So it was his interest that he was trying to protect. And later on, he being an interested party, P made the payment which D was obligated. Later on, he can recover it from D. This is nothing but a quasi contract. So you can also write that there is a quasi contractual relation, or you can say that we cannot allow one person to enrich himself at the expense of the other. Therefore, he is entitled to claim reimbursement from D. Okay. So this is how. Now, if this question is asked in the exam, it will be asked only for 2 marks and this much content is sufficient. So you can pause the video, copy this. All right, done. Next, yes. This is the second question which I have chosen. It's an exam question, November 2019 exam question, and it is from my compiler bomb. Yes, students, you can buy the compiler bomb which contains all past exam questions, study material, RTP, MTP questions from my website theorymasterslearning.com. Link is in the description box. The second question which I have chosen today, it's a very unique question asked in November 2019. I want you to be aware of the concept. Now, X found a wallet in a restaurant. He inquired of all the customers present there, but the true owner could not be found. So he handed over the same to the manager of the restaurant to keep it till the true owner is found. After a week, he went back to the restaurant to inquire about the wallet. Manager refused to return it back to X, saying that it did not belong to him. In the light of the Contract Act, can X recover that wallet from the manager? Now, don't look at the answer, student. Don't look at the answer. What do you think? I'll just zoom in. I don't want you to look at the answer. So, what do you think? Can he say that, no, this wallet does not belong to you, I will not give it to you? Is the manager the owner? No, even he is not the owner. So, how can the manager keep that wallet with him? Who is the finder? X. So finder has certain rights. He has obligations, duties also, but there are his rights and duties. So since he is the finder, it is his responsibility to keep the wallet till the true owner is found. Okay, he has right against that wallet, against everybody except the true owner. What does that mean? It means he can keep the wallet with himself. He will not give it to anyone except the true owner. So that is the meaning of this provision. Let us now read. It's a very simple question, but it is something which you must have not studied, like, expressly while studying the theory part. So he is the finder. He will have better rights than the manager. So he can keep it with him. Here, section 71 of the Indian Contract Act, which relates to finder, we will write the theory relating to that. A person who finds the goods belonging to another, takes them in his custody, is subject to the same responsibility as if he were a bailee. Now, who is a bailee? Bailee is a caretaker. Bailee is caretaker of the goods. He will keep the goods just like a bailee and return it only to the true owner. So, a person who finds the goods belonging to another, takes them in his custody, has the same responsibility as the bailee. You will study the concept of bailment in CA Inter. Finder has the duty to take proper care of the good, just like a man of ordinary prudence would. Now, what is the meaning of ordinary prudence? Ordinary prudence means just like any intelligent person, rational person, someone who thinks before spending. He does not have any right to appropriate the goods. He cannot give the goods further. He cannot sell it. He cannot pledge it. He cannot use the goods. He will have to restore it to the true owner. So once the owner is found, he will have to give it back because finder is not the owner. In light of the above provisions, manager must return the wallet to X because X is the finder. This is one very important sentence. That is why I have highlighted. He is entitled to the wallet found and he has rights against everybody except the true owner, which simply means that he will keep the wallet and give it only to the true owner. So students, only two questions that were identified because they were unique questions, different questions. One was an exam question, other was a study material question. With this, we complete all the units of Contract Act, and I will also be posting one video on Indian Partnership Act, all unique questions which I have found from the study material. So do subscribe to this channel, Theory Masters Learning, and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications because there are many more videos coming up till your exam. Also visit my website for the compiler bomb, video lectures for CA Foundation, CA Inter, and exciting offers and on books.